Hello everyone, this is CA Ritika Lad and I am representing Tax Mantra Global. Today we are here for speaking on topic TDS under section 194Q. So since this is very new and effective from 1st July 2021, we are here to clarify your doubts on section 194Q, like who has to deduct TDS and what is that and all. So for this, I am sharing my screen so that you can go to the content. Okay. So first of all, what is section 194Q? Here I'll tell you section 194Q is the requirement of deduction of TDS by a buyer who is purchasing any goods of value of more than rupees 50 lakhs in a year from a single seller. इसका मतलब ये हुआ बेसिकली कि लाइक इफ एनी पर्सन इज बाइंग गुड्स फ्रॉम एनी सेलर सेलर से गुड्स खरीद रहे फ्रॉम अ सिंगल सेलर ऑफ अमाउंट एक्सीडिंग रुपीज 50 lakhs throughout any financial year, then he is liable to deduct tax TDS under section 194Q. So let us discuss one by one for whom it is applicable and for whom it is not applicable, what is the rate of deduction, from when it is effective, and how the calculation will be done, and including the confusion under different scenarios. Okay, so from when TDS under section 194 is applicable? So very importantly, it is applicable from 1st of July 2021. Like from 1st of July, if any person is purchasing any goods of value of rupees more than 50 lakhs from any person, he has to deduct TDS under section 194Q. So the question comes here, who is liable to deduct TDS under section 194Q? So the answer here is not everyone has to deduct TDS under section 194Q. You have to fulfill two important criteria. If you are coming under both the criterias, then you are liable to deduct TDS under section 194Q. And the first criteria is like, since it is starting from 1st of July 2021, so I'll be talking in the very beginning for the financial year 21-22. In financial year 21-22, that is in the current year, running current year, whether you are coming under section 194Q or not, you have to see your turnover or gross receipt or total sales in the last year, like in the financial year 2021, whether it is exceeding rupees 10 crore or not. If your total turnover or sales or gross receipt is exceeding rupees 10 crore, then only you are coming under the ambit of section 194Q. Like not the small businessman and not the small buyer seller are coming under the provision of this section 194Q. So first very important criteria is you have to see the turnover of your last year. If it is exceeding rupees 10 crore, then you are coming under section 194Q. Then the second criteria is, okay, you are coming under the first criteria that your turnover is increasing by rupees, is more than rupees, exceeding by rupees 10 crore in last financial year. Then you have to see whether you are purchasing goods from a single seller of rupees more than 50 lakhs during the entire financial year in the current year 21-22 of amount exceeding rupees 50 lakh, then you have to deduct TDS under section 194Q. Now the second question comes, since it is effective from 1st July, from when we have to see the total turnover, from when we will be calculating that total turnover during the entire financial year of rupees 50 lakhs. Although it is applicable from 1st July, but we have to aggregate the total turnover from 1st of April 2021 to 31st March 2022 for financial year 21-22. Like if you have purchased goods from a single seller in April and you are continuing purchasing from that particular seller, you have to consider the purchase made before 1st July 2021 also. Now who has to deduct TDS? Like you have to deduct TDS if you are purchasing it from a resident seller. Like if you are purchasing from Indian resident seller, then only you have to deduct TDS under section 194Q. If you are purchasing from abroad, 194Q is not applicable. This is a very important FAQ and confusion in the mind of many people. If you are purchasing from outside India, 194Q is not applicable. So what important criteria? Seller must be from India. Your last year turnover should exceed rupees 10 crore. Your purchase from that particular seller should exceed 50 lakh during the entire financial year in which you are making purchase. Now the next question is is what is the rate of TDS deduction? TDS deduction rate is 0.1%. And on what amount you have to deduct? You have to deduct on amount exceeding rupees 50 lakhs. Like I have given example over here. Like you have made total purchase starting from 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2022 from X of rupees 55 lakh, you have to deduct TDS on rupees 5 lakhs and not the entire 55 lakhs at the rate of 0.1%, and that will come around 5 rupees 500. Now, if you have made purchase from X only rupees 45 lakhs during the entire financial year, no TDS under section 194Q will come since the total purchase from that particular seller is not exceeding rupees 45 lakhs. Another question which comes here is, if a seller, you have to it is mandatory you have to collect PAN of the seller. If the seller does not provide PAN, you have to deduct TDS at a higher rate of 5% instead of 0.1%. Now with next question which comes here is, which form of TDS applies over here? It is very simple. Form number 26 will apply, that is TDS on non-salary deductions will apply in this, and for TDS reduction under section 194Q also. What will be the consequence if you don't deduct TDS under section 194Q? It will attract disallowance under section 40A subclause 1A, where it says if you don't deduct TDS as per law, your 30% of the amount will be disallowed as per income tax. But very important to note over here, I'll come to it later on. Like for this TDS deduction on purchase amount of rupees more than 50 lakhs is also is also coming under TCS deduction, TCS collection by seller. So if the TDS deduction is not made by buyer, then it is the seller who has to collect the TCS under section 206C1H. It is also new. So you have to see, if you have not deducted TDS, although you have defaulted the law, but it might be possible that your seller must have collected TCS from you and it is deposited to the government. So there is there is no fault on your side. Maybe in that case, you will not be disallowed 30% of your purchase amount under section 40A 1A. Another question which comes over here, for purchase exceeding rupees 50 lakh, you have to deduct TDS under section 194Q. But there are other section also which says TDS has to be deducted on particular transaction. Like if you are buying an immovable property, you have to deduct TDS under section 194IA. If you are buying to use a software, you have to deduct TDS as royalty under section 194J. So if the amount is exceeding rupees 50 lakh, again it will be deducted under section 194Q. No, it is not the case. The law has excluded those cases. Like if any other section is also attracting TDS deduction, then we have to follow that and not section 194Q. Those things are excluded from the ambit of section 194Q. Now it is very important where the people are getting confused and is 194Q versus 206C 1H of TCS. both are very similar. Under section 206C1H, it is the seller who has to collect TCS from the buyer if he makes purchase of more than rupees 50 lakhs. And under section 194Q, it is the buyer who has to deduct TDS from paying before paying it to the seller. So what if both the section contradicts? Firstly, I will clarify over here under section 206C, that is TCS collection, there are some goods which are listed under subsection 1, 1F and 1G, and those are like tendu leaves, alcoholic liquor for consumption, minerals, coal, under which TCS is applicable. And it is very well known to the people that on those goods TCS is collected by the seller. So if those goods are listed under subsection 1, 1F and 1G, like tendu leaves, alcoholic liquor for consumption, timber, scrap, minerals, coal or lignite, etc., that will attract TCS under section 206C. Those goods are excluded from the applicability of TDS under section 194Q. So there should be no confusion in this. For these goods, only TCS is applicable and no TDS under section 194Q is applicable. Now the question comes for the goods other than those which are listed under section 206C, like other than these scraps, coal, minerals or alcoholic liquor for consumption, forest timber. What about those goods? So law has provided both requirements, like TCS is also required to be collected and TDS is also required to be collected. But for primary obligation is on the buyer. If the buyer who is purchasing those goods has to first deduct the TDS on those goods if the amount is exceeding rupees 50 lakhs in a year, and if the buyer fails to deduct TDS, then it comes on the seller to collect TCS on those amounts. So only not both the sections will apply all together, since it will lead to double deposition of tax to the government. Only one section will apply, either TDS or TCS. However, TDS is the primary obligation on the buyer under section 194Q. If he fails to do so, then only the seller is obligated to collect TCS on those amount. So that is why I cleared before, like if you fail to deduct TDS but the seller has collected TCS on that amount and deposited to the government, it might possible that the disallowance under section 40A1A of 30% of the amount will not be made, since there is no default in the deposition of tax to the government. So I will once again clarify over here, for goods which are specifically listed under TCS applicability, like minerals, iron, ore, that will attract TCS only and not TDS under section 194Q. But those goods which are not specifically written and just written like goods other than those goods of which the purchase amount is more than 50 lakhs, that will only attract both TDS and TCS, for which first liability is TDS under section 194Q, and on failure of TDS under section 194Q, then only the TCS will come into picture. Another question which comes over here, ki the law has written purchase of goods of rupees more than 50 lakh. Then what is this goods? Whether it will include capital goods also? Since there is no definition in the Income Tax Act for the meaning of the term goods, until any clarification comes, it will include even the capital goods. Like both revenue goods and the capital goods are included. Another question which may comes, there are so many things on which there are litigation, whether it is goods or not, or if it is good, whether TDS will be applicable or not. So one of those things are immovable property, purchase of software. For immovable property, it will be a dispute, although it is a capital good, it will be a dispute whether it is good or not, despite of the fact, before without going into dispute whether it will be a good or not goods or not, for applicability of section 194Q, First of all, we have to make it clear that for purchase of immovable property, TDS under Section 194 IA is already there in the law. Therefore, without going into any dispute, 194Q will not be applicable on purchase of immovable property of amount exceeding rupees 50 lakhs because it will be covered under Section 194 IA. Next question which may comes over here is, if you purchase electricity of rupees more than 50 lakhs, whether it will also attract TDS. So we all know very well that whether electricity is a good or not, it is a matter of high dispute, and under various judicial pronouncements, it has been pronounced that electricity is a good, so that prima facie it may looks like if it is a good on the basis of those judgments, it will attract TDS under Section 194Q. However, there is no clarification for TDS under Section 194Q by the central government CBDT till now, but for TCS collection for sale of goods of rupees more than 50 lakhs, there is under Section 206C1H. One circular was issued by the CBDT, circular number 17 of 2020, wherein lots of doubts have been cleared by the CBDT, under which one doubt is that one clarification has been made by the CBDT that TCS under Section 206C1H will not be attracted on sale of electricity for amount exceeding rupees 50 lakhs without going into dispute whether it is a good or not. So although there is no direct clarification similarly for TDS under Section 194Q, but the principle and the rationale behind both the sections are very similar, that is purchase or sale of amount exceeding rupees 50 lakhs. We can also apply those clarification and may conclude that TDS on purchase of electricity under Section 194Q is not applicable. However, this is just an opinion. It may cause some litigation and we may wait until any clarification for this be issued by CBDT. Another question is, I have already included that whether TDS under Section 194Q is also applicable on purchase of use of software of more than rupees 50 lakhs. It will attract Section 194Q. So without going into again here, I'm repeating it, like without going into dispute, for purchase of software uses of amount exceeding rupees 50 lakh, it will be already covered under Section 194J as royalty, and it is very settled that TDS under Section 194J will be deducted on as royalty on purchase of software. So without going into dispute whether it is a good or not, it will not be covered under Section 194Q. Like these immovable property, electricity, and software, there are so many things on which people are confused. So until any clarification which may come by CBDT for specifically for Section 194Q, we may wait, and until that principle lying under circular number 17 of 2020 for TCS may be applicable even for Section 194Q. That's it. This was a brief about Section 194Q. Again, I'm giving a short brief. What is Section 194Q? 194Q is applicable from 1st of July 2021. It is the thing like the purchaser, the buyer who is buying any goods of amount exceeding rupees 50 lakhs during the entire year from a single seller, and seller must be from India, resident seller. He has to deduct TDS under Section 194Q, and this apart from that, it has to be kept in mind that the 194Q is not applicable for all the buyers. It is only applicable for those buyers whose turnover or total sales or gross receipt is exceeding rupees 10 crore in the preceding financial year in which you are making purchase of rupees more than 50 lakhs in a financial year. So that's it. For last, for any clarification, please visit our site for referring this detail content on section 194Q. And at last, for very short line about Tax Mantra Global. Tax Mantra Global is a bespoke digital first global consultancy firm providing advisory, tax and regulatory services in India, Singapore and the US. You can get in touch with us for any tax and legal advisory or compliance challenges that you may be facing. Just visit our website taxmantra.com. Also like this video and subscribe our channel. We'll be coming back with more videos and more clarifications. Hope you like this video. Thank you.